Thank you so much for joining us on Weather Out West on this Thursday, October 16th. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. Here's what we're tracking for you this morning. Alaska is still reeling after Typhoon Halong lay waste through villages and sweeping homes away with people inside. What the state is now doing as recovery efforts begin. Plus, it is the Great Shakeout Earthquake Day. We'll have all the information about what you need to do to prepare and how to be prepared in case the big one hits. And the fall coverage doesn't stop. Meet the candy shop in Illinois that has been making hundreds of caramel apples during this time for decades. And once again, thank you so much for joining us on Weather Out West. This is an hour-long show where we showcase what's happening weather-wise across the western United States. Weather-wise today, and we have a lot to cover, we're going to begin in Denver, where a cold front is set to bring cooler air to the area. Denver's Kathy Sabin and Katie LaSalle are tracking the cold front, plus what alerts are in effect tonight.
Hello from Denver, Colorado. I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin, and we are enjoying a nice little change in the weather pattern that will bring snow to the mountains, rain to the metro area, and hopefully more beautiful fall scenes like this. The trees are alight with color right now, and we've seen a lot of moisture in parts of the state that really would like the water faucet to be turned off. But the southwest flow will generate a few additional showers in areas like Paonia, Pagosa Springs, Durango, and Creed as this upper level low that is now in Utah makes its way over Colorado today. And out ahead of it, a line of showers, even isolated thunderstorms are possible. The counterclockwise flow will pull in enough cold air for a little bit of mountain snow as well. No advisories for snow or travel, but definitely some changes afoot. And then that severe weather threat will be growing in places like Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, and Minneapolis, with colder air settling in over the next 48 hours in the central Rockies, up around Boise and Billings. And so as we look at the severe weather threat, we're talking about severe weather in October. Yesterday, a level 1 out of 5 for Denver. Today, that shifts further to the east into western Nebraska and Kansas. So wind, even some small hail, maybe heavy rain, all a threat with some of these storms. Now, we are going to wake up to a mostly sunny day. There may be a little push of showers over the north metro area, up the I-76 corridor, and east of Kit Carson and Burlington this afternoon. But a calmer day, a cooler day, and then tonight will get really cold. Freeze watch out for northwestern Colorado, and a frost advisory out for areas north and east of Denver for temperatures tonight down around freezing. So cover those plants that you want to protect and those flowers you want to hang on just a little bit longer. 50s to start, 60s will top out seasonal today. Mid 60s heading into Friday and Saturday, with temperatures in the 70s for Sunday and for Monday. And of course, our Broncos play in town, so this is exciting news to have a kickoff temperature of 75 degrees, and hopefully this will be a winning forecast.
I'm 9 News Weather Impact Team's Katie LaSalle. It's feeling more like fall this October 16th here across Colorado. Sunshine in Denver, but we are watching some unsettled conditions impact the region. Our next cold front zipping through, it did bring some light mountain rain and snow showers, mainly above 9,000 feet early this morning. Not a lot of precipitation associated with this, but it will be blustery at times with some colder air set to arrive early tomorrow morning. So the National Weather Service has issued a few advisories in the wake of that, but we want to talk temperatures on this October 16th. The average in Denver is 65. The record, that was 89, set back in 1991. Today we're expecting just a few degrees above average highs for Denver, up through Greeley and Fort Collins in the upper 60s. The mountains, though, will be cooler. After a very warm day on Wednesday, highs will be more seasonal in the upper 40s and low 50s. But as skies clear statewide tonight, the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning. Overnight lows much colder over northwestern Colorado and over the southwestern corner of the state. Now, for the Denver area, we are not talking freezing conditions, but a frost advisory issued for spots like Greeley out to Lyman, where overnight lows are set to fall to the low and upper 30s there. So early tomorrow morning, it will be chillier, but just putting it in perspective, Denver's average low this time of the year, 37 degrees. The record that was 15 set back in 1969. We have seen unseasonably mild conditions over the past several days. And as we look at just some averages, what we typically see here in town, our average first freeze at 30 degrees or lower was back on October 7th. And then our typical average first snow is 2 days from now on October 18th. We're not talking snow though in the 7-day forecast. As we head into next week though, Monday and Tuesday, we will be bracing for a slightly chillier weather pattern. Our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook will impact our state. But on this 7-day forecast, as you can see, near seasonal highs with overnight lows in the 40s and upper 30s. So a seasonal day on Saturday, a high of 65, a low of 38. Then it'll warm up. Breezy conditions at times on Sunday, a high of 75. Mild on Monday and Tuesday will be slightly cooler. But as we look ahead, as mentioned, we could be seeing some freezing conditions, but it won't be over the next 7 days here in Denver.
Now let's head on over to Arizona, where the weather continues to be quite the treat. Yesterday, Phoenix only hit a high of 79 degrees. Phoenix's Ginger Jeffries tells us how long it's going to last.
I'm meteorologist Ginger Jeffries. We'll look at your weather out west where, wow, did we go from one extreme to another. First of all, last week we had highs in the triple digits. Then we followed up with 5 days of unprecedented rain. We haven't seen 5 consecutive days of rain in over a century. And now temperatures dropping low enough to levels we haven't seen since May. And now, because our daytime highs are so low, our overnight lows have followed suit. In fact, we're seeing sub-freezing air in places like Flagstaff and Prescott getting awfully close with 36 degrees. Payson, 39. Phoenix, yes, we were dropping down in the upper 50s and low 60s. But because of all this cold air, and now it's abundantly dry, this is great snowmaking conditions. So take a look at this. Arizona Snow Bowl is now projecting an opening day of November 7th. Now, let me just qualify this. They're projecting November 7th. Doesn't mean they're going to open. Things can happen. But at this point, they're looking at basically about 3 weeks from now. And Sunrise Park, they're projecting an opening of November 8th. This will be one of the earliest opening days on record for Snow Bowl if it happens. Meantime, temperature-wise, we're still staying well below the normal range. Across Arizona, we've got nothing but clear skies, a couple of thin clouds here and there in Show Low, and we could see a brief shower in the White Mountains today. Otherwise, I'm talking about numbers like 83 in Havasu, 84 in Yuma, about 81 in Gila Bend, 80 for Phoenix, 72 in Globe, and 78 in Tucson. We still have that massive area of low pressure pushing through to the north. This obviously a snowmaker, got a lot of cold air associated with it. That's why our numbers have come down. And as you can see by these wind vectors, the winds have been up, but the velocity and the duration way down. You see how the coloring is really starting to lighten up a little bit? Well, that means that velocity is starting to reduce a little bit. We're going to see these winds lifting and relaxing today. We'll still get some double-digit winds, but we're really not looking for anything above that. And I'm talking about for the higher elevations. As we start to transition in between two different weather patterns, so we could get a little bit of moisture that sneaks on in. So as far as measurable rainfall today, and it is minimal at base. You can see at best from Sedona into Payson, we've just got a brief little shower. And again, this is primarily just along the rim because simply that moisture gets trapped up. Now, next week, there's another opportunity for some rain developing. This is actually branching off from some tropical energy that may produce in the next week or so. It's minimal at best, but based on what happened, I'm going to keep my eye on it. For the high country, it looks like about a 10% opportunity. And for the valley, it just doesn't look like we're going to get any rain chances. So what are we looking for? Temperatures that are in the zone. Wow, we love this. Fountain Hills, 77 for you. One better in Scottsdale, 81 for Phoenix, about 80 in Glendale, and 81 in Goodyear. It is going to be nice. It is going to be sunny. Our winds are going to be under 5 miles an hour and then calming down later today. As you can see, this is a projected wind speeds. I mean, wow, look at this. It is going to be very still. So that is a nice welcome relief, especially since the work has been done. We've pushed all that cool air in, and we saw daytime highs below 80 degrees yesterday. 79, our official high, 90 where we're supposed to be, and the records are 103. So thankfully, we're veering steering away from all that. We are going to start seeing numbers march back to a closer to normal status range by the weekend. But all in all, just a glorious next 7 days. 50s and 60s for the higher elevations. Here in the valley, we've got temperatures in the 80s and holding. Yeah, check this out. Next 7 days, nice clear skies, sunny and dry, and temperatures below normal.
And efforts to clean up Colorado and Arizona are still underway. Meanwhile, one of the largest airlifts in Alaska history is underway. Hundreds of people are being evacuated from villages along the state's western coast, which is about 500 miles outside of Anchorage. It's the latest response to areas ravaged from the remnants of Typhoon Halong. The storm slammed into coastal villages, bringing a record storm surge that swept away homes, some with people still inside, and left 1,500 residents in makeshift shelters. Coming up next, it's International Shakeout Day, and if you are joining us live, it is officially 5 minutes away. We're going to tell you all about it coming up, and we'll have forecasts from San Diego and Sacramento. A new discovery is shaking up what we thought we knew about the, quote, big one. We all have heard about it. Scientists in the PNW now believe one massive quake could trigger another. Researchers believe two of the West Coast's most powerful fault lines may be linked, and if the Cascadia subduction zone experiences a full rupture of a magnitude 9.0 in the next 30 to 50 years, it could affect the entire region.
It's going to affect Northern California, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, Alaska, Hawaii. This is not like a crustal earthquake, which is 10 to 30 seconds. This is minutes long of slow rolling waves that are coming through.
It is. We are coming up on 10:16 a.m. on this October 16th, and today is the Great Shakeout. In fact, I just received the alerts from the Shake Alert app. You just have to download it and you get these updates. I just got earthquake drill, practice, drop, cover, and hold on. And if you are seeing this later, essentially what you want to do is know where you will go, what you will do in case an earthquake does strike. That is why we're talking about earthquakes today. And you may receive these alerts. It's almost like an Amber Alert as well. So make sure you sign up for those. If you haven't, that is the price we pay living on the West Coast. Now, emergency managers are saying the easiest way to prepare is to stock up with at least 2 weeks of supplies and get to know your neighbors, because immediate help could be hard to find. And as I mentioned, yes, it is October 16th, and it is International Shakeout Day, not just in Washington. Millions of people worldwide will participate or have already in the earthquake drill at places like work and school, or if you're in the car. And essentially the drill is going to happen, or again, if you haven't watched or you're watching this later, it happens at 10:16 a.m. your local time. This is what some of the drills will look like.
Earthquake.
See, I already got the alert.
Expect shaking soon. Drop, cover, hold on. Protect yourself now.
And you heard my phone there. Let's see if it happens again, if your WIA alerts are triggered. Because again, we are doing it live, even here in Seattle at King 5. We are participating in the Great Shakeout. Everyone is encouraged to practice dropping, covering, and holding on to practice that earthquake safety. And the event will also include a tsunami siren test. So if you live near the coast, you may be hearing that as well, and evacuation drills in some schools. Always important to know. We actually also spoke with Katie Arthur, who is the outreach coordinator for Pierce County Emergency Management in the state of Washington, on the importance of the drill and how to be earthquake ready.
This is also a great opportunity to for everyone to take one more step to be more prepared. This includes things like building a communication plan within your household, having a go kit in case you had to evacuate quickly. And most importantly, we really want you to sign up for emergency alerts. Those are run by your local city emergency management and county emergency management. All are free of charge, and that is a sure way for us to be able to get a hold of you if anything's going on.
And while Alaska and California have the most earthquakes, California has more earthquakes that cause damage than any other state. So it's important to know what you'll do before one hits. That's why the International Shakeout Day does happen, because they can happen at any time. It's just a matter of when, not if. So let's talk about weather in California, because today we're going to start in San Diego, and it's a big change from the last couple of days where they had heavy rain, strong winds, and storms. That was just earlier in the week, but now sunshine and warm temperatures. Here's San Diego's Neda Iranpour with more.
Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Neda Iranpour here with your forecast in sunny San Diego. Oh, yeah, the day started off with clear skies, so it was chilly out there. Chilly for San Diego. I mean, the 30s, yeah, in the mountains, that sounds pretty cold, right? 40s and 50s for a lot of our county, whether you're at the coast or inland or in the mountains, a jacket, highly advised. Sunrise time, as you see, at 6:54 this morning, and we all saw it because there were no clouds. The overnight stars, the smiley face of the moon was all out. Our sunset will be at 6:14 this afternoon. Another chilly night in your forecast. But during the day, I mean, this is going to be a lovely day. I know it's starting off chilly, but by the afternoon, low 70s at our beaches. So 1, 2 o'clock when we reach the hottest time of the day, just getting to 72. Really mild, lovely conditions out there. Good day to maybe go for that walk or bike ride along the coast. And then, of course, once the sun sets by 7 o'clock, 65 degrees. So we'll see those temperatures tumbling on down again tonight. Just have a jacket perhaps with you if you are going out. For the next several hours here, this is what our day is shaping out to be. So a lot of 70s all around, whether you're at the coast or inland. Temperatures are looking pretty nice. 75 for our inland communities like Miramar and Poway, Escondido at 77. Ramona, you had a little bit higher up in elevation, 77. That's pretty nice. 78 in El Cajon, which is typically one of our hotter inland communities. But then in the mountains, staying in the 60s, the deserts in the low 80s. So overall, it's a mild kind of day, pretty seasonal, fall-like for us. But things are going to change this weekend. Are you ready for warmer weather? That's what we're going to see here in San Diego. By the afternoon, I do want to point out the winds coming in from the east. That'll happen around 4 o'clock or so when we get those afternoon breezes that are coming through. Same with on Friday. So Friday looking like 15, maybe 20 mile per hour winds, but not as breezy as what we just saw on Monday and Tuesday, for example, when we had that rain that came through. Look what it did to our temperatures. I want to show you the last 14 days here. You see how we stayed in the 70s, then we bumped up all the way into the 90s for the weekend, and it stayed warm. And then as soon as that storm came, that low pressure system up from the north, it really dropped things down. So we've been pretty chilly throughout this week. The wind and the rain certainly sending a shock to a lot of our systems, perhaps, because we've not been used to that for many, many days. But as you see there, things are going to warm because of this right here. We have some ridging that's forming over the ocean. This ridging is going to help bring in a nice weekend ahead. Look at this. For Saturday, you'll see kind of this weaker dome that's forming over California, and that's actually going to contribute to a really nice weekend. No rain in sight over the next several days, well into next week. What we might get would be a cool down next week, but let's show you that warmer weather first. By tomorrow, temperatures are warming into the mid 70s at the beach and then upper 70s for Saturday. It's a pretty good beach day. Some of that rain runoff will have cleared as well. So bacterial levels should also be dropping, making it safe to get in the water. 75 by Sunday, and then we'll stay in the 70s Monday, Tuesday, then a little dip there on Wednesday. So we will see a cool down Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. But look at this Saturday, 86 degrees for our inland valleys, 82 on Sunday. It's going to feel a little strange to go out to the pumpkin patches with the heat that's on, but I know a lot of people are planning to do that. A lot of great weekend events. We'll keep you outdoors, and rightfully so, because it's going to feel pretty good. In the mountains, upper 70s. In our deserts, we're going to go from the low 80s to the upper 80s, even 90 degrees on Sunday and Monday. Before we taper down a little bit, a few degree drop by the middle of next week. I'll send it back to you.
Sacramento is off to a great start for the water year, which began on October 1st. Brendan Minchef tells us if and when the trend will continue.
Hey, meteorologist Brendan Minchef here in Sacramento, and we have had quite the month of October so far. It started off in the 70s. It was a little below normal for the time of year, but then you see 2 days in the red there. Last Monday and last Tuesday, we were near 90 degrees. In fact, we hit 90 degrees in Sacramento last Tuesday. But then fast forward a week, look at that temperature there, 56 degrees this most recent Tuesday on October 14th. That's the coldest day in Sacramento since February 12th. So it has been a while since we've seen temperatures that cool, and that's in large part, obviously, thanks to the storm that we just had come into California. Take a look at some of these snow totals across the Sierra. This is just a few locations here. Bear Valley at 21 inches, Castle Peak at 9 inches. The UC Berkeley Central Sierra Snow Lab, 7.3 inches of snow there. Soda Springs at 7 inches, Blue Canyon at 2 inches. We had chain controls across every major Trans-Sierra highway as we went through Tuesday. Looking at the storm total rainfall in the valley, so that was snow. Now we're talking about rain in the valley. Vacaville, 1.6 inches of rain. Sacramento, 1.58 inches of rain. Not that far behind, over 1.5 inches there. Stockton, almost at 1.5 inches. Modesto, over 1 inch of rain. Same story in Davis and Angels Camp. Rancho Cordova at 0.9 inches. Marysville, close to 0.9 inches as well. Roseville picked up 3/4, and Folsom picked up over 1/2 inch of rain. Now, this is a very good storm for us for the month of October. As we look at the precip tracker, total so far this month, 1.86 inches of rain in Sacramento. The average to date is just 0.27 inches. So our departure from normals at plus 1.59 inches. Again, this is a lot of numbers, but this just goes to show you we are off to a really good start on the water year here in Northern California. And as a reminder, that water year started on October 1st. That's why this month and this season match, because we've only had 1 month so far. Let's look at the statewide numbers here, because for the entire state, it's been a pretty decent start, especially true for Northern California, but also Southern California has picked up some rain. You see about 1.78 inches there in Sacramento, 1 inch out there in San Francisco, 1.17 in Modesto, but then down south about 0.8 inches in LA, over 1 inch in Santa Barbara. So that departure from normal from October 1st through October 14th, again, that is the first 14 days of the water year. You can see Sacramento's above 1.5 inches. San Francisco's at plus about 3/4 there of 1 inch of rain, plus 165 in Stockton. Everywhere in blue means we're doing better than normal, and only a couple places on this map, that would be Palm Springs and Needles, is actually below normal in terms of precip so far. So this is good. This will bring a temporary pause to fire season, but it's not enough to bring it to a total end. We'll need some more rain in the not too distant future before we can wrap up fire season. So let's take a look at what we can expect as we head through Thursday afternoon. It's going to stay cooler than normal. We've got 50s and 60s across the Central Sierra, some more 50s and 60s across the Southern Sierra. And as we look into the valley, temperatures still are not that warm. We're only talking upper 60s into the low to mid 70s for most locations. Similar story here as you look at the Central Coast. There are temperatures in the 60s to about 70 degrees. San Francisco Bay Area, plenty of 60s and some low 70s across the map there, even across far Northern California. We are just not in a warm pattern. We are going to stay cooler than normal as we head through the rest of this work week. We've got more 70s across the far northern part of the state and low 70s across the capital region. We, in fact, will stay below normal as we head through this upcoming weekend across Northern California. As we look at the forecast here, temperatures are going to stay in the 70s, not just for the next 3 days, but for the next 10 days.
After the break, we're going to meet the candy shop in Illinois that has been making hundreds of caramel apples during this time for decades. For some people, fall means it's time for caramel apples. It may be one of your favorite fall treats. Well, one candy shop in Illinois is still making them the same way they've been done for decades, by hand. Drew Coffey has that story.
Well, nothing screams fall like a caramel apple, and here at Lago Marcinos, the hard work and dedication that goes into making them is something everyone here cherishes.
Today, We have just about 600 apples to make.
But Terry wouldn't consider it a busy day.
We make them 5 days, 6 days a week. It used to be 7 days a week.
But at this time of year,
Kids have been kind to me and said I don't have to work on Sundays.
it's almost every day.
We make the caramel every day. We make generally enough apples that we're going to sell that day.
Sitting in the heart of Moline since 1908, it's what Lago Marcinos is best known for.
We've done about 25,000 in a year.
I have to hide them in a different refrigerator.
And, well, they sell.
You can buy caramel apples anywhere. We like to say the secret's in the caramel, that you can actually tell the difference between our apple and somebody else's apple.
Making the caramel, dipping them, dressing them, and packaging the finished product, this team of 3 does all this in just a few hours every day.
Do you want a copy or receipt?
And the work pays off, right above them.
We start our season a little bit sooner because we know people love caramel apples so much and they're wanting them year round.
I really like caramel apple season when it starts, but I love it when it ends.
And for chocolatier Sabia Mintier, he sees it as a form of expression.
You're doing something that you hope has a visual appeal that will attract someone, and like any media, that's what every artist is trying to do, whether you're on stage playing music or you're painting a canvas.
A canvas, using caramel as its paint.
It is something special when someone asks for what you make.
In Moline, Drew Coffey, WQAD News 8.
We are drooling here, one of the best. After a quick break, we're taking you to the Pacific Northwest, where they're gearing up for more rain and mountain snow this weekend. Thank you for sticking with us here on Weather Out West. We have more forecasts for you and stories this back half hour. We're going to begin in Texas, where lawmakers there will investigate the circumstances of that catastrophic 4th of July flooding that killed at least 136 people in central Texas. Among those lost were 27 young girls from the Camp Mystic summer camp. The campers and counselors died after torrential rain forced water levels on the Guadalupe River to rise from 3 feet to 30 feet in just a matter of hours. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said Camp Mystic has not spoken publicly on the record about what happened that morning. And just last month, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed tougher camp safety laws, and those include requirements that local officials install outdoor sirens and warning systems in flood-prone areas. Camp Mystic says it will reopen next summer, and they plan to do so with new safety protocols in place. Now let's head on back to the Northwest, or our first stop in the Northwest as well, in the Pacific Northwest. And we're going to start in Portland, where rain and mountain snow will return over the weekend. Portland's Rod Hill is tracking it for you in his forecast.
Another gorgeous day here in the Rose City. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. We've been chilly again this morning. No frost. Remember yesterday on Wednesday, we had a few scattered frosty locations. This morning it's been holding mainly 36 to the low 40s. We've had a little bit of fog in very isolated spots, so most of us just waking up to sun. If you are coming down this way, this strip of clouds showing up on the satellite picture comes through later today into tonight, and it may or may not produce just a trace of moisture. So basically, our forecast is dry until we have rain coming in Saturday overnight into Sunday, which is what happened 1 week ago. We had that wet Sunday. All right, so no travel-related issues. We just really haven't had enough fog to make a big deal of it. In fact, here's our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. That is gorgeous. We will see increasing clouds during the day, but we're talking about becoming partly cloudy instead of just wonderfully clear. And still enjoying the white of the snow from last Sunday up on the mountain and the blue skies. By the way, the system that's bringing rain to the coast and valley this Saturday night and the Sunday, the snow level with that will pretty much match last Sunday's snow level. That's decent snow at 5,000 feet. And then eventually into the night, some lighter snow amounts down to 4,500 or maybe 4,000 feet, which gets into the passes, but not expecting any travel issues. And again, if you want to go up and play in the snow, I would say both Timberline at the Lodge and Mount Hood Meadows Ski Resort over on the east side will at least pick up 6 inches of snow again, and maybe a little bit more than that. So we'll see. So this is our Salem sky camera. Now, yesterday morning, there was a little frost out in front of the Capitol on the grass in the mall, but today, no. Just beautiful fall foliage. What a gorgeous morning we have. Here's the one fog area. This is Vancouver, the Springs at the Waterfront camera. So this is coming out of Washington, crossing the Columbia into Oregon. And for much of our morning, you could not see that bridge. It was really a cool image to look at, but that fog is now starting to lift up somewhat. And once that goes, we're basically just fog free. Here it is coming in to downtown Portland, just all sunny this morning. All right, so our Futurecast movie, nothing. Here come the increasing clouds this afternoon. Again, not clouding over in the Willamette Valley, but partly cloudy skies. Here come thicker clouds tonight into tomorrow morning, your Friday morning. And again, we may or may not see a sprinkle or a trace of rain. That would be it. During the afternoon, we get back into some sun. We wake up Saturday morning on our weekend. This shows clouds up in Astoria, but in Portland and Salem, some sun. But then Saturday should cloud over during the day. And then by evening, here's some rain chances up near Astoria and Longview. But basically, the batch of rain we're tracking comes in not Saturday evening now, but Saturday overnight into Sunday morning. Models still show the North Coast has the potential for 3/4 to about an inch of rain. It's what the models have been showing. And still shows on average, Kelso, Portland, and Salem, maybe we get a half of an inch of rain out of this. Maybe we don't. And then some manageable rainfall into Monday morning across all eastern portions of our state. All right, so today, after all that speech giving, it's another nice day. Partly cloudy this afternoon, light winds, 64 degrees in Salem. Southwest Washington, we saw that fog lifting along the Columbia River. So this is sunshine coming to increasing clouds this afternoon, low 60s. Again, winds are light, including out through the Columbia River Gorge, and light winds up at Timberline, where we saw Mount Hood as well. This afternoon, we're all dry. 50s to maybe 60 at the beach, certainly 60 or better from Kelso down through Salem, Albany, and Eugene. Beautiful day in Central Oregon, 62 degrees, clear skies. Here's Portland's 7-day forecast. So, kind of a mixed bag of clouds and sunny periods, but all dry through Saturday evening. The rain on Sunday, it's raining when folks wake up in the morning. It breaks into scattered showers. The shower chance ends Monday morning.
Today is Game 4 of the ACLS in Seattle as the Mariners take on the Blue Jays. Rich Marriott tells us what the weather is looking like for today's game and Friday's game, now Game 5, plus what to expect over the weekend.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Rich Marriott, and another beautiful morning around Western Washington. We've had some great sunrises out there and still seeing plenty of sunshine. Checking out the Granite Falls High School camera, you can see nothing but sunshine there. They had a little frost on the playfields earlier today, as we did see places getting down close to the low 30s, even a few upper 20s around, but overall a few degrees warmer than what we've been in recent days, and we're going to continue that trend upward over the next couple of mornings. Looking out for our Queen Anne Tower cam, seeing one little deck of clouds moving through. We're seeing our onshore winds start to pick up in advance of a weak front that's going to be moving in later on today. And you see there in Tacoma, looking out towards Mount Rainier, it's still looking pretty cloud free, though you're starting to see a few high clouds beginning to push their way in, which is an early warning sign that things are about to change a little bit. Nothing too extreme, though. Out towards the coast, well, even more of an early warning sign. We've got the low clouds that are pushed in from off the coast with that onshore flow, and we'll see a chance of that showers developing as we head towards late tonight. You can see those temperatures this morning, mostly at this hour running mostly in the 30s to the mid 40s, but it should warm up nicely now that we have that sun up above the horizon, looking pretty good. The first alert 7-day forecast does call for basically increasing clouds today, so overall partly sunny and that chance of a shower moving in late tonight. Not going to be much in it. In fact, it's going to dry out pretty quickly tomorrow. However, as we head into the weekend, a pretty strong cold front moves in later in the day on Saturday and moves through Puget Sound on Sunday morning, and that is going to give us a pretty good round of rain and also lower snow levels up in the mountains before we dry just a little bit and start to warm back up again as we head into the first part of the week. Satellite image does show that high pressure we've been talking about this this week, still sitting over us, but it's weakening and moving on to the east. This front, which looks like it may have some precipitation, it doesn't really have much. It's mostly high clouds, but as that pushes in later today, we are going to see the clouds move in. We'll see that chance of a shower moving in for most of Puget Sound after about 9 to 10 o'clock this evening, so won't impact the playoff game that's going to be happening a little bit later on today. And back here farther out in the Pacific, there's a big low out there. We're going to see a pretty good system develop as we head towards later tomorrow. It's going to be pushing into Puget Sound with increasing rain as we head towards Saturday afternoon. Then it looks like the rest of the weekend is going to be pretty wet overall. Looking at a computer model, you can see we look at today, we have that little weak system moving in later on, and there, right, first pitch tonight is at 5:33, and you can see we've got a few showers kind of scattered mainly to the north, but it does look like during the game we're going to really see them get as far south as Seattle. You can see it around 10 o'clock. It should be wrapping up before that, and the shower's still a little bit to the north of us, so probably won't have any effect on the playoff game today. And then as we head towards Friday, you can see a few morning showers. Those go away. Should see some sunshine as a little bit of high pressure moves into the area. Take a look at the T-Mobile Park. You see, looking at a little sunshine starting off the day there. And if we look at the forecast for that first pitch tonight at 5:33, should be partly sunny, temperatures close to 60 degrees, and then we'll cool back to the mid-50s during the game itself. And again, I don't think the showers are going to make it in there during the game at all. Maybe walking back to your car possibly. And then tomorrow for Game 5, which is at 3:08 tomorrow for the first pitch, partly sunny, right around 60 degrees, and again, cooling off to the mid-50s by the end of the game. And it seems like all of the playoff games so far here and in Toronto have been pretty much running in the mid to upper 50s for the highs, so consistent playing conditions, which doesn't hurt. Looking up in the mountains, you can see we've got a few high clouds drifting in, but a pretty good looking day in the mountains. If you want to get in a little bit of late season hiking, see things not really much in the way of any snow at this point, so get up there, and a lot of things will be warming up this afternoon with a past temperatures getting into the low 50s. Down here in the lowlands, sun this morning, increasing clouds this afternoon. That chance of a few showers moving in again after about 9 to 10 o'clock tonight around Puget Sound. We'll be looking for highs today pushing that 60-degree mark. Few morning showers and partly sunny tomorrow. Temperatures again in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We'll start dry early Saturday, but then increasing rain by afternoon. Pretty wet Saturday night into Sunday morning when the cold front moves through. Then it's going to turn to off and on showers. Snow levels, which are going to be around 8,000, 9,000 feet on Saturday, dropping to around 4,000 feet by later Sunday afternoon, and could see a little bit of snow around the Stevens Pass area. Maybe an inch or so of slushy snow might stick on the roadways. Better chance of seeing accumulations on the North Cascades Highway, which is above 5,000 feet. Looks like we'll see high pressure move in. That should drop us back to just a few showers around for Monday and Tuesday as weak systems brush by to the north, and then partly sunny Wednesday. High temperatures into next week staying mostly in the mid to upper 50s.
The ALCS, not ACLS. Got those confused. Just wanted to point that out. All right, after the break, we have forecasts from Spokane and Boise. It's time to take you back to Washington, but this time Eastern Washington, where it's super pleasant out there. Perfect to check out the beautiful fall foliage before the rain returns later in the weekend. Spokane's Nicole Hernandez tells us all about it in today's forecast.
I'm Nicole Hernandez in Spokane, Washington, and we are just a couple weeks away from daylight savings. That means our sunrises are getting later and later and later until we hit that point, right? Right now, we have 10 hours and 48 minutes of daylight. You know, earlier this summer, we had basically 16 hours of daylight, so we're getting much darker now. Sunrise today was 7:10 a.m. Sunset today officially before 6 p.m. at 5:58. Now, why are we talking about the fact that it's darker for longer? Well, because it's colder as well. The less sun we get, obviously, the less warming we can get, and so then the colder we end up, particularly overnight. Right now, as of 9 o'clock this morning here in Spokane, we're at 38 degrees here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 35 in Moses Lake, 40 in Othello. That doesn't sound crazy, but the sun's already been up for a few hours at this point. Earlier this morning, Moses Lake was at 28 degrees, enough to even have a frost advisory in effect. Many areas definitely feeling those cold temperatures over the past few days. The good news is, though, we start to warm up in our morning days. We are sunny through Friday, and then our next chance for rain comes on Sunday. So let's take a look at some of those morning temperatures because like I mentioned, some spots today even below 30 degrees as overnight lows. Those overnight lows are going to start warming up, luckily, if you don't love the cold. By Friday, tomorrow, we're at an overnight low in the mid to high 30s. By this weekend, we see our overnight lows sticking in the 40s. So definitely a good amount of relief compared to what we've been feeling this past week. I have been bundling up. I have had a big puffy jacket on and still have been cold. As for our afternoon highs, things are looking pretty average. Today's high forecast here in Spokane is 57 degrees. That's basically average. Average this time of year is 58 degrees. And we're seeing that basically across the entire region, right? It's going to be in the mid to high 50s depending on where you're at. Some of our warmer spots, Lewiston, Richland, Yakima will potentially reach that 60-degree point. Most of us, though, sticking in the 50s. 50 is actually going to feel pretty good, though, because we're going to be sunny as well. We stay sunny Thursday and Friday, even into Saturday a bit, until we start to see our next chance for rain, which comes on Sunday. So let's take a look at what's happening up above to make this all happen, right? We're under a light ridge of high pressure right now that's keeping us dry for the moment. Tonight, we start to see a small low pressure system start to move its way into the region. It doesn't do much. Tomorrow, we get a small chance for scattered showers through our mountains. You might see a cloud or two pop up, but for the most part, we're going to stay mostly sunny. It's not until Saturday into Sunday that we start to see this bigger, more intense low pressure system move its way into the region. By Sunday, it actually comes into the inland northwest, and this right here is your Sunday rain. You can see a big bulk of it there. If we're cold enough for it, obviously that can turn to mountain snow, but for the most of us, that becomes a Sunday rain day. A good day to maybe cozy up inside, right? It's a Sunday, relax, have a good time. Anyways, it moves out pretty quickly. By Monday, things look pretty clear here. You can see that it moves out, and 75% of our models are saying that by Monday, we're pretty dry and back to seasonally average temperatures. If you love fall, this is your week. Look at this. In the 50s with a day of rain, it's kind of perfect average fall weather.
Meanwhile, in Boise, it's going to be a nice but blustery autumn day, but rain and mountain snow also return on Sunday. Here's Hector Mendoza with much more.
Well, we had some rain out here in southwest Idaho, and you could see it on display here on this photo posted on our Idaho Weather Watchers Facebook page. Christopher posted this. This is some of the sunshine and rainy conditions we had out in Idaho City. That is getting closer into the foothills. But again, we saw a lot of that rain for many spots, not quite making its way in through Boise and west of some of those areas. But then at the end of the night, as we looked at Caldwell, just a beautiful day as we had some clear conditions, and the night was just absolutely fantastic as we see some clear night skies out in Caldwell, and then you can see some of those colors there on some of those trees there. As we can see, they've changed their color. But as we look at some of the temperatures from yesterday, we were into the 60s for many spots as you look at Boise, Nampa, Caldwell, and even out into Ontario. But look at the difference as you head on east into Mountain Home. Upper 40s as temperatures struggled to climb out of those 40-degree temperatures and into the 50s. That was pretty much what we saw all the way down into the Magic Valley through Jerome and Twin Falls, and even into the low 40s out in Stanley with some of those temperatures climbing up into the low 50s out in McCall and getting close there with similar temperatures to Mountain Home out in Haley here for yesterday. And those were some of the spots that did see some of the precipitation there. So 0.17 of an inch out in Stanley, 0.14 of an inch out in Mountain Home, and then we saw a little bit more of those totals getting closer to a half an inch there in Jerome and passing that in eastern Idaho as we look at some of those numbers there from yesterday. But as we take a look at what we're expecting here for today, those showers clock out and that sunshine starts to clock in as we're going to see a high pressure system bring in that sunshine, clear conditions and warmer temperatures. Then we're going to feel a little bit of an extra whoosh here this afternoon as some of those wind gusts are going to start to climb up. Temperatures will also start to rebound there as we get into some of those seasonal temperatures, and that's what we're expecting there as we get closer to Saturday and into Sunday. And here's a look at that satellite and radar picture where we're seeing a little bit more of those showers make their way on out as that system continues on into the east. And that's pretty much what we're expecting here across southwest Idaho and eastern Idaho, where we're going to see a lot less of those showers and see that high pressure system continue to bring us a lot more of that sunshine. And that's going to continue here all the way in through Saturday before we see another push of some moisture coming in Sunday. And that could possibly extend on in through Monday morning. So again, as we are between these two systems, those wind gusts are really going to start to increase as we're going to see some breezier conditions here in Boise. Some of those wind gusts get up to about 25 miles an hour here through portions of the Treasure Valley. And then we'll start to see those winds lighten up just a bit here through the afternoon. And pretty similar out in the Magic Valley, but some stronger winds come along there as we look east in through Boise from Mountain Home all the way through the Magic Valley. These are some of the wind gusts we'll see out of Twin Falls up to about 30 miles an hour. So you might feel it just a little bit more. It might bring a slight chill into the air as we continue on through the day. And as we talk about Twin Falls, here's some of the temperatures we're expecting into the next couple days as that ridge continues. We'll have a little bit more of that sunshine come along in through Saturday. Sunshine continues for the most part into Sunday with some early showers coming along through the morning hours of Monday and late in through Sunday. Temperatures will climb back up into the upper 60s as we head on into Sunday before taking another dip into the low 50s. And then we'll see a little bit more of those warmer temperatures return as we head on towards Wednesday. And that sunshine is expected there towards the middle of next week. And as we look at the 7-day forecast here in Boise, it's going to be pretty similar as we're going to have those breezy conditions stick around through this afternoon and in through tomorrow. Temperatures will start to return to more seasonal territory there and through Saturday. So that Boise State game on the blue against UNLV will be absolutely fantastic. Kickoff at 1:30 will bring temperatures into the upper 50s, and we'll see dry conditions compared to last Saturday's game where we had some rain, but that rain will return as we head on closer in through Sunday, seeing some of those spot showers through the afternoon, possibly seeing that through Monday, and then we're going to see another cool down and warm up come for the middle of the week.
Be sure to stick around if you want to see cute little lion cubs. And before we leave, there's some good news in Colorado. The Denver Zoo Conservation Alliance introduced 4 new African lion cubs last week. Look at them go. Oh my goodness. The 1 boy and 3 girls can currently be seen outside for 2 hours a day, and they'll probably be cuddling or playing like this. Zoo officials say their first time in fresh air will extend once the quartet becomes more accustomed to their space. The cubs were born back in August, and they are the 4th generation of lions born at the zoo within the decade. They're so cute. I could watch them all day. But that does it for us here on Weather Out West. If you want to watch again, just replay this. I'm meteorologist Ashley Ruiz. We thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.